Welcome back. Well, during the holiday season, we hear a lot about angels, and here to tell us a little bit about real-life angels is best-selling author of Haunted Toledo and Ghost Behaviorist.
That's right. Chris Boris is in the building. Good morning.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
We're excited to have you today.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Calling all angels.
Yeah, so angels, as you know, it's synonymous with Christmas. We have tree toppers, of course, and they're tied in with the birth of Jesus and all that. So as a ghost behaviorist, things that I do are I go to people's houses and cleanse them, and if demonic infestations and things like that. So when that happens, I have to call on angels to kind of help me and aid me in clearing out living spaces. So my work is really tied into the different angels, and if you really read into the different hierarchy of angels, there's certain angels that perform different functions, and this is the same thing in Buddhism. I like to use a lot of Buddhism in my practice as well. So.
And what are some of those categories of angels?
Yeah, so the angel that I use is Michael. He's like the top tier angel. He's the protector. He comes with a big sword. And it's interesting because a lot of exorcists and things like that, they will use Michael as well. You don't really see an angel, like a full-blown angel. That is really rare, but when you do, you usually see him as a flash of light. And they're also tied in with certain smells. So with angels, you usually hear the smell of flowers, which is interesting because demons usually have the smell of sulfurs and things like that. So we find the spirits in the spirit realm have a lot of smells associated with them. But there's a couple times that I've actually interacted with angels. I mean, they're all around us. I mean, even if you don't believe in angels, they're there. And I can testify to that. I was in the Collingwood Art Center, and one time we had a really dark thing come in. And it was, I had a tour group with me, and it was scaring everybody. And all of a sudden, I just, in my head, I called upon Michael, and I saw this flash of light that I could not explain. And after that, everything just kind of calmed down.
Now, how do you know if a space is, like I know you said that you use angels to cast out demons. How do you know if a space is having some activity or negative?
You can feel it. And many times you can feel the tension. You can just cut it with a knife. And usually when I go in and start to clear the living space, it feels like I just took a knife and cut right through the tension, because it just like, parts the seas. You can feel the
Yeah, you can just feel it change. Now, I know, there's a lot of Hollywood movies, especially with The Conjuring and things like that, and a lot of times the narrative is that the ghost then needs to go somewhere else. The demon needs to find somewhere else. Is that really true? Once you've exorcised it, does it really need to find another space, or is it gone?
That's a problem in the exorcism world. They keep encountering the same spirits over and over. It's like, oh, I exorcised this spirit, and then a couple months later, they encounter the same one. So I have a recipe that I use, so to speak, to kind of heal the spirit and demon or whatever, and kind of help it along its way so it doesn't plague anyone else after that. I don't know if we have time for one last story.
Yes, definitely.
But I've done hospice work, and a lot of times the patients that they're very close to death, they will see angels and things like that. So I was with this patient, and I was asking him certain things about, are you seeing angels right now? He's like, yes. And I was asking, a lot of times they'll be told the exact time and date that they will die. So I believe that I was asking that line of questioning. I was like, do you know when you're going to die? And all of a sudden he became unresponsive, and the people in the room were like, well, he's going in and out. But I knew, I was like, no, there's something else here at play, because I was in another ghost hunt where I asked spirits, certain things about the afterlife, and the conversation comes to a complete halt, because what I found out is there are certain rules to the afterlife that they have to adhere to. They can't tell us as humans certain things, because it'll ruin things. So I knew that. I took this information and brought it into play, and I asked him, I was like, so let me ask you this, are there angels telling you not to tell me these things about when you'll die? And he just goes, yep.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's very, very interesting.
Oh, my goodness. All right, well, this is just so interesting. And actually, we're going to take a quick break, because next up, you're going to go through some different classifications to really help us understand. So don't move a muscle. Call on your angels and stick with us. I'll be right back.